Running a 10K might sound simple enough for some of you guys watching here, but by 7 kilometers, most runners struggle to keep that efficient running mechanic they had in the beginning of the run because fatigue starts to set in. So today I ran a 10K in Seoul, South Korea with my friend here to show you guys what actually happens to your body during a run like this. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jin. I'm a performance physical therapist who help hybrid athletes and runners return to performance without pain. During this 10K run, I will show you guys exactly what happens to your joints, to your muscles, to your running mechanics as fatigue slowly builds up. So beginning of our run here up to 2 kilometers, everything generally feels nice and easy. Your muscle activation stabilizes and your body understands that this is what it's going to be doing for the foreseeable future as your heart rate adjusts and your muscles warm up. Your cadence is also going to be stable and the consistent rhythmic breathing sets the tone. Starting slow and building your pace up gradually becomes very important in this early stage of running, because if you go too fast too soon, your body's going to produce those waste metabolites quicker then your body can get rid of them, which means that you're not going to be able to continue running. So most runners tend to feel generally good during the first 2 kilometers of the 10K run because you're still having no issues with breathing and your running mechanics are still very efficient. All right, so now we're in mid-run from 3 to 6 kilometers, and that's when fatigue starts to creep in. So during the mid-run, our body catches up to what we're doing. It knows that we're going to be running for a long period of time, so it transitions from anaerobic metabolism to aerobic metabolism to produce energy that we need to continue running. Anaerobic meaning it wasn't using oxygen to produce ATP and energy sources, but now during the mid-run phase, it's using oxygen, it's burning fat, it's using carbs to produce energy. So it's a more efficient way of making energy. I noticed my heart rate also increased. The heart's working harder to pump out blood to the muscles that are continuously being activated. I also noticed I was swaying side to side a bit more to compensate for the fact that my quads and my leg muscles generally got tired. At this stage, my stride frequency increased as well as the stride length decreasing to keep up with the speed. And this is exactly when my body started to look for ways to compensate, to look for shortcuts to try and complete that 10K run. So 6 to 9 kilometers towards the end of our run here, the late run stage, your joints are gonna notice some pain that you haven't noticed in the beginning of the run. Not because running is bad for you, but because those muscles that support your big joints like your hip and your knee is fatigued, and so your joints are taking on all the loading. So going forward, doing strengthening exercises for the big muscle groups like the quads and the glutes and the calves are going to be very important. And something also worth mentioning is your body relies more on your proximal joints like your hip and your knee rather than your distal joints like your ankle, as your body fatigues towards the end of the run. I noticed my knees were also bending more during this stage of running. It wasn't stiff like it was in the very beginning, and that also increases the loading on the knee joints. So 9 to 10 kilometers, the last 1 kilometer of the run, the running mechanic that I had, which was efficient in the very beginning, was gone, and the consistent breathing pattern I had was also pretty much gone. Honestly, at this point, I was just thinking about getting to the finish line, but I realized the biggest difference between a recreational runner like me and an elite runner like my friend that I ran with was how long you can keep that efficient running mechanic from the very beginning to the very end, and how strong are your muscles to be able to help you keep that efficient running mechanic from the beginning to the end. Being able to keep your running form from the start to finish is also important to minimize the risk of injury, and relying on your big muscle groups like your glutes and your quads is going to help decrease the stress on your joints. Running in solo might look beautiful, and it is, but your body still has to survive the 10K. If you're medically cleared to run, but you're still dealing with some pain and some irritation during these longer runs, that's exactly what I help athletes and recreational runners with. The link to a free discovery call is in the description down below, so feel free to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.